welcome back to Clinic on Cue, the show where we pick the brains of everyone and anyone involved in clinical research. I'm your host, Shauna Cusack, Global Sales Manager with Atlantia, and today I'm joined by the one and only Cian O'Mahony, who is our Recruitment and Marketing Manager at Atlantia, and my very good friend. So, Cian, welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
We're very excited to get going and get into the first question, so I'll jump right in and say, question one. How would you describe your role and what does a typical day look like for you?
Well, my role is quite varied, I think, really. It kind of comes with a dual title, I guess, because I'm both recruitment and marketing, so there's always kind of different aspects that I'm working on. And the recruitment side, I have a team of callers, so they screen all the participants, basically make sure that they're comfortable with everything that we do, they understand what the process is, and they hopefully get booked in for their first visit on site. And the other aspect of my job then is the marketing side. So marketing, I guess, covers a lot of things. So we do traditional marketing, we do digital marketing, we do events, promotion, we do anything we can turn our hand to, really, I think. It's a joint effort with me and the team and the rest of Atlantia, really. Everyone always pitches in with recruitment, which is really good. And it gets us kind of stuck in with the community in Cork and in Chicago. So it's always really nice to meet participants face to face.
Yeah, because I think when people hear recruitment and recruitment manager, they think, oh, he must be hiring people, but you're not hiring. It's a recruitment from a different aspect in terms of clinical trials. So.
Yeah, I think the title, I guess, kind of confuses people. It's typically that's what it is. You're just hiring people. Well, I do hire people into the team. It's a very different type of position. While we are recruiting people, it's people into a clinical trial. Which is a very different process than into a job.
Okay, and would you say you prefer one or the other, the recruitment side, the marketing side, or is it so much of a blend that you just...
It's a bit of a blend. I think it depends on the day or the trial. The recruitment side is a bit more intense, I guess, but it's also a more rewarding one because when you're meeting people and participants, so I get a bit more involved with the community in that sense. So it's a blend of things, really, because on the recruitment side, I am more involved with people, I'm meeting people and getting involved with the community a lot more. So I like that interaction to have on a personal level with people, and you get to, I guess, get more direct feedback. People are a bit more honest, I think, when we meet them outdoors. Yeah. And it's a bit more of a fast pace, but you can see the kind of results of getting a trial completed as well. The other aspect then for the marketing is, I think I probably prefer that overall though. It's more creative because I get to do designs and you get to try a lot of different things. Something doesn't always work in marketing, so you're always trying to refresh things, see what's new out there. So it's always changing, really.
It's a nice blend, though.
Yeah.
A bit of the personal side, meeting people, and then the desk kind of marketing.
There's no one day really looking the same. Every day is different, really, in Atlantia.
Interesting, very good. Okay, question 2. What would you say are the benefits of participating in a trial to the general public?
A lot of, I suppose, benefits, depending on the trial. We do compensate all our participants for taking part, which is, a benefit, of course.
People like having money, yes.
Yeah, for sure, that we can't deny that one. But there is other aspects. They get health insights, whether that's from blood results that we can provide to them, or some trials provide DEXA results, or it could be information about their food intake or dietary intake. We have done trials that do like a VO2 max for athletes. It could be an X-ray, DEXA scans.
So it's almost like a free health screen for them as well.
Yeah, depending on the study, some of them can go really in depth. It really depends on the scope of the trial and the sponsor that we're working with. Yeah. But I think the main reason, I guess, that people should take part in trials is that, if you go to a pharmacy, there is lots of medication available for your benefit and for your health. The same with supplements. And even foods. If there wasn't trials done on any of those things, we wouldn't have them on the shelf. Or if we did, they would be there and the risks will be unknown to everyone. So I think that's an aspect that's often overlooked with the general public.
I actually never even thought about that before. If you don't do clinical research, I suppose we don't have options to buy these products in the shops or in the pharmacies. So even the likes of like a Panadol or something, if we don't trial that, participants, or I guess the general public, don't have the option to go in and buy it.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I think everyone has either had some kind of medication or supplement in their life. So I think, next time you're going to the shop, just think about all the work that went into that and the participants that were in those trials, or patients for pharmaceutical trials that were in it. And if people didn't put that in that effort, you wouldn't have the benefits. So I think everyone at some point in their life should always take part in at least one trial, and then, you're contributing to that future of science.
Yeah, and we've had multiple conversations on the show before about the regulatory around food and I guess supplements. And while it is lower than the pharmacy and the drug world, it is slowly catching up. So I think it's really important to get more and more research in the dietary supplement space so that these products are safe for people and then also like that they work.
Yeah.
So to have them efficacy points there to prove that they actually do what they say on the tin.
Yeah, 100%.
So, yeah, it's
and
really important.
I guess that's our bread and butter here, really, with food supplements and that kind of food space. We, want to keep it to the standards of pharma, but make it a lot more accessible for people and the general public, because, not everyone can take part in a pharmaceutical grade trial because, usually they are quite ill, or it could be oncology, whereas we're open to the masses, really.
Yeah, I guess most of our populations are healthy. Like, I mean, what is healthy these days? But,
Healthy
a general representation of what the population is
Yeah,
these days.
yeah. So it could be, we do very general healthy studies, or it could be, high cholesterol, high blood pressure. It could be like sarcopenia or something, muscle wastage. It varies a bit, but generally they are kind of pre-disease states for the majority of our studies.
Cool. Okay, very good. Leading nicely into the next question then. So how important is advertising when it comes to recruitment?
I think it's the number one, really. That is everything to us. We do have a really good retention with our participants in both our sites, which is, hugely helpful, especially for, easier to recruit studies or smaller studies. That's our number one go-to, really, for new trials, which is massively appreciated that, that they come back to us time and time again for studies. I think that just shows that,
loyal people of Cork and Chicago.
It's, I guess it shows that it's a really easy process, and it's a nice process that people are more than happy and eager even to come back and trial with us again.
I think repeat, but also referrals is really good, and that shows that people are willing to send their mother or their friend or their cousin.
It's not even just themselves; they want to bring other people in. So they're not. I think sometimes it has a bit of a stigma of doing a trial, but they're more than happy to bring other people in and kind of shout our name out there. But as for an actual marketing thing, it is really important, especially digital marketing. It allows us to change really quickly on a dime, and it allows us to, get our name out there really quickly to a lot of people. And if there's a study update at any point, we can update those images, creatives. We can, if something's not working, we can change everything up really quickly. So it's good for the rapid pace that we have here.
I think as well, now that we're moving more to the maybe hybrid models or fully remote models even, to be able to recruit, say, nationally across Ireland or nationally across the US, digital is where it's going to come.
Digital is the main way, especially for DCT trials, 100%. You have to go digital, really, even if you don't want to. But there's, depending on the study and the population, we still use a lot of traditional media as well, particularly in Cork. It's a smaller community, so it's really beneficial to get those, particularly like older groups, or groups that aren't as interested in social media, which it's a really good option for us.
And in terms of social media, what social media platforms does Atlantia use, if you want to let people know?
We have Facebook, we have Instagram, and we have most recently launched our TikTok channel with myself. So
we'll follow
please
Cian.
do give me a follow.
And
give Atlantia a follow. But yeah, it's a fun experience, and it's an enjoyable one. So we want to get a lot more focus on our video content to kind of get that out there, and I guess be more transparent about like what we do, what the workings are of Atlantia, and it gives us a kind of it gives us an opportunity to highlight the behind the scenes work that we do. A lot of people only see just as they come in through the doors, or some people just don't know really what a trial is still.
Exactly,
I think COVID helped a lot in a sense that they showed what you can do in a trial, or the process of it, and kind of brought it into people's minds. So I think in a way that has helped us a lot. People are a bit more aware, but there's still a lot of education to be done in what a clinical trial is, what the process is, and what participation looks like.
Yeah, and I think just even speaking to people and people that like a lot of people know about Atlantia because they hear it on the radio or social media, but then there's the people that have never heard of Atlantia and have never heard of a clinical trial, and maybe they're like, oh, a clinical trial, is that where you test a drug, or is that where you test? And you're like, No, it's a little bit different. So even just to educate people, like you said, what it is we do and maybe what a visit will look like when you come in. Yeah. And it's not scary. Like we try to put people at ease, and we might take a blood sample, but you're also getting a benefit from that, like a health screen or, you know, something. If you don't want to go to your doctor, we can help here as well with the screening. 100%. Brilliant. Okay. Moving into the next question then. Do you have any standout methods on how you engage with participants?
I think we've touched on some of them already. I guess the number one is our database, really, for, you know, those easy recruits and to keep them engaged. That kind of ties in with all our marketing as well to, you know, release content that's interesting to them. Doesn't have to be all study related, but it could be what's new in science, what's new in other trial areas, and kind of keeping them, I guess, regularly educated with tidbits of science, and keep them on board with us. And you know, it must be working because we have such a good retention and such a growing database. Yeah, another one I think is our open days and going out to the community, as I mentioned earlier. It's nice to get stuck in and meet people, and then that allows us that one-on-one contact with the general public to get feedback, I guess, on what we do and, you know, how we could update things, or, you know, if something isn't super clear, maybe on our marketing, they'll often point it out to us and say they don't understand or what we do. Like we still get questions on like what does that mean? What's the trial mean? Or they think of guinea pigs, which is, you know, we always try and steer away from that that viewpoint. But it's just all about educating them, really. And
I think the open days are really useful. So like people, you might hear about it and you think, oh, I don't know if I want to join a trial, but in this case, you don't have to join anything. You just have to come in. It's a chance to meet with the team and see what the kind of feel of the clinic is, and then get a free health screening check as well while you're here. So. Yeah, it's a super easy process, and you know, you get a look at the clinic and you get an insight, I guess, into what participation looks like in a kind of small degree. Okay, and I know then your team as well go to kind of college open days and, you know, the Mallow shows and stuff like that. So do you find they're really useful to interact with the public? Yeah, they're a really good opportunity to you know, meet people and get word out there about the studies we have, especially the colleges. Actually, they're really useful. We go there quite regularly, and the universities. You know, that's a good basis for us to start off, because sometimes they're a bit more open and they hear a little bit about it maybe in college, particularly if they're in science as well. So getting them, I guess, educated when they're young, they can retain that information. Spread it to their friends, especially when they're, you know, a lot more active in communities between themselves. They're a bit more insular. They might want that money a bit more. Yes, that's true too. So we do get a lot of university students that take part in our studies, particularly if they're generally healthy, is often a favourite of theirs. We're into the rapid fire round, so I know you're really looking forward to this one. So super just shoot the first thing that comes to your brain. Maybe not the first thing. Okay, the last concert you were at. It was the Wolftones in Kerry. Wolftones? Yes. Oh, in Killarney? They're closing up soon, shop, so we had to go see them. Big Irish, was it say Irish country song? Yeah, I guess. Yeah, Irish country, a bit of a twist on Irish country, I guess. Okay, lovely. One word to describe your role. Hectic. Yeah, agree. A movie everyone should see. No, you're a big movie buff. I do. I love a horror, so I think Malignant is crazy. I would recommend everyone to watch it. No. It's a lot of twists and turns, but it's superb. I'm not into horrors, so I would not recommend. I would highly recommend it. Nice rom-com now or something. Not my cup of tea. Okay, what are you watching at the moment? I am watching... what am I watching? I'm watching a lot of anime at the moment, to be honest. It's just an easy watch. Super easy. There's so many options out there. Again, not something I would do, so each to their own. And last one, dream holiday destination. I think the Galapagos for that one. Wow. Yeah, my brother was there a couple of years ago and I've been super jealous of it since. It just looks so beautiful and there's so many animals. You get involved so much with nature. It's kind of untouched for the most part. Difficult to get to, is it? I would say not the easiest of journeys, but I think if I was doing like South Central America, it would come into my to-do list, for sure. Very good. Okay, so you can relax now. Last question. If you weren't working in clinical research and you had to do something else, what would it be? I think it probably would be chefing. Maybe actually
pastry chef.
Oh, wow, okay.
I've always really enjoyed baking, even since I was younger, and I'm a feeder. I'm basically an Irish mammy, so
yes, I can back him up on this.
I have to,
and also I can back you up on your just normal cooking.
Yeah, I think it was probably my main option before joining into science. Really, it was my number one pick, but I kind of kept it on the back burner because I can always keep it as a hobby, and I still have.
Yeah.
And I still enjoy it. I kind of didn't want to ruin it on myself, so I kept it there really for myself.
As a hobby rather than a job.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's your favorite thing to cook? I wonder, can I answer this?
My favorite thing to cook is probably, if I'm being basic, is probably a stir fry.
Oh no, not basic.
But if it's a proper meal, it's probably a roast
dinner.
dinner.
Oh, I knew it. Okay, Cian's roast dinner is
roast
tops.
dinner. 100%.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. And the full plate.
Full works.
Yeah, you are a feeder. Definitely are a feeder.
Rolling.
And then and then in terms of baking, do you have a?
My mother would probably tell me that it's apple tarts because that's her number one request from me.
Okay.
But as for me enjoying, would probably be a cheesecake. A blackberry cheesecake is probably my favorite thing.
But there's not much baking in a cheesecake, Ian.
I know, but it's still part of the baking repertoire.
I think a cheesecake is easy.
But you have to make it good.
Yeah, but I think I would make a decent cheesecake.
Doesn't make it true.
Okay, anyway, I've also had your scones, which are really good, so...
Yeah, I have a lot of traditional...
I think that's baking rather than
cheesecake. I can do scones, I can do Madeira cakes, I can do bread.
You do everything?
Yeah, sure.
So Cian's cookbook coming soon?
Hopefully. Maybe that's my next thing after this.
When you find some time
I'll get writing.
Recruitment and marketing.
Yes, in my spare time.
Okay, brilliant. Thanks so much for your time, Cian. Hopefully it wasn't too painful.
No, pretty
Lovely
good.
to chat to you.
Same to you.
Okay, so we've come to the end. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe below because we have plenty more content coming soon.